Well, hey everyone. My name is Dwayne Morris, and it is an exciting opportunity to be here today with you and to introduce you to a dear friend of mine, someone I've known for, gosh, probably close to 10 to 12 years in some capacity from working with Chick-fil-A Leadercast, if you were around back then, and then through other capacities that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But I want you to meet my friend, Jeremie Kubicek. Jeremy, welcome.
Dwayne, always good to be with you, my friend.
Yeah,
You're not
love to.
you're an all-star, man.
Oh gosh, it's fun. You always call people up and make people feel better, and which is why I love any time I get a chance to hang out and talk to you. They're good. Pretty pretty snazzy backdrop. Is that one of those AI backdrops?
This is not. This is
Yeah.
my this is a guest house. It's a grain silo we built for guests to come and stay at our neighborhood.
Wow. Yeah. And I know you also use it to host people who you spend time with.
Yeah, we have a lot of clients, a lot of friends come and stay. I think we had, to my wife's introverted chagrin, I think we had 100 people last year. That we usually average about 100 a year that come and stay and just pour in together.
That's good. I saw another person, I won't name drop, but I was watching a video today in a similar situation where they have a house on their property, and he was just talking about the amount of money he gets to save by having a place for people to come and visit. And he works with them on his property, and it keeps him off the airplane, keeps him at home with his family, and it gives him more concentrated time.
It's amazing. Absolutely.
Yeah, great. So, Jeremy, I know the story, but the purpose of this is just for people who, especially in our area, that may be considering coming to our event in September, the Intentional Leader Summit, just to get to know you a little bit better. And so, I'm just going to ask you it's a few questions just to let people know who you are, where you came from, and where we're headed.
I love it.
Great.
So my background, yeah, I am a farm boy from Oklahoma. My family moved from Prague, Czechoslovakia to Prague, Oklahoma. So I grew up in a Czech community, went to college, and then went overseas immediately. Moved to Russia, started some companies in Moscow, and I got to see the world big time. I mean, mafia, crazy experiences, coup attempts, had a client assassinated, and it started me in this journey of coaching, and I literally got into all types of content, and would go on to start a company called Giant and build the company as a growth consultant. Ended up buying John Maxwell's assets and merged all of John Maxwell stuff into our world. Started partnering with Chick-fil-A, the Chick-fil-A Leader Cast, and then built a brand called Catalyst. And I started to build these really big stages and publishing and content and all of it. And what it did is it basically got me to the place where I started to realize that all that I was building was a memory, and it was information transfer more than it was transformation. And it really started to bother me because I could see it. I could see people were like, all they wanted to do, they wanted to be up on stage and be as famous as Pat Lencioni or John Maxwell or any other people. And so, yeah, that journey led me to like, okay, wait, what would be a better way to change the world? So I started a different approach, and I started creating content and tools and processes. And I started realizing that it takes a long time to develop people.
Right.
And so, what if I actually helped people by taking really complicated things and making them simple enough for people to know how to develop other people? So, the two things I figured out were you have to help people get free and secure and confident and humble. And then you got to help them be a conduit to free other people. Because if you're not free yourself, you don't know how to free other people. And so it just kind of led me down this rabbit hole of there's got to be a better way than the typical uh, guru model. And
Yeah.
that's what we've done.
Yeah, I remember first time I saw you, met you, it was the what I call the Chick-fil-A Leader Cast rebound. You know, the first year with a little bit of the story. We won't get into that now, but you guys did what I consider a first class rebound and said, hey, we know we made some mistakes, but if you'll give us a second chance, we want to bring you to Atlanta. We want to tell you what went wrong. We want to tell you what we're doing for next year. And so I just, Atlanta's right down the road. So I jumped on that, came down, and you got up and just did a brief welcome and said, hey, thanks for coming. And kind of this is what happened. But hey, while you're here, we want to pour into you. So we've got all these great speakers. You had all the Chick-fil-A people and some other folks. But then I remember when we left that room, we had a tour of the Chick-fil-A headquarters, and you stood and held the door for everybody. And I just thought that's a first class leader and really made an impression. And then as you were talking, uh, you won't remember this because you do this a lot, but I remember. So let me back up. So as you began to build out Giant, the model that you subscribed to was a model of basically discipleship, right? Pouring into people, equipping them, and then sending them out to do the same thing in the multiplication model, what it was. And so I was fortunate to be invited probably in the fourth or fifth layer of that multiplication process. And I remember coming to, I think it was my very first gathering, and we had uh, I'm drawing a blank. Leap behind. What's it called?
The core process, X core.
Yeah, it was a leap behind. There were two things. One of them was a leap behind, and
Oh
the
yeah,
other one was
takeaway.
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 Thank you. Yes. And so, what are we leaving behind, and what are we taking away? And I remember sharing that I wanted to leave behind some insecurities and take away the confidence that I saw in other people in the room. And then you just kind of stepped up beside me and just kind of did a poll over the room and said, "Hey, have you met Dwayne? Is he confident? Is he humble? And is he secure?" And that was a defining moment for me.
I remember that, and I
Yeah,
remember, and it goes back to just who you are, man, and what you're trying to accomplish. And I think that's the beauty is we want to pour into people like you, because your focus is not on your own fame and your own empire.
right.
Your focus is to help other people and to help them get healthy, help them take things out of their life, call them up into who they really are. And that's the whole goal. And that's fine. This is going to be a fun road show. It's fun for me to come and be with someone like you, but then to just really what will you will experience when we're together. You're going to be significantly encouraged. I'm going to attempt to call you up in ways that are just unique. You're going to get some great content that's unique in the way that we deliver it, and that you're going to remember it. And then you're going to get tools to help your people like the next day. You'll have tools that will help you like overnight. It's the most practical, meaty content delivered in some of the most encouraging, inspiring ways. It's not just rah rah, but it's like truly practical and relevant.
Yeah. And part of that is just the vision of what you have created in this model of leadership of becoming a 100x leader, getting 100% healthy yourself, but then multiplying that healthiness and then just the principles into the people that you lead.
That's it.
Great.
And then that replication it's just a system. It's like a process, it's a system. And when you get really good at it, you start becoming a people whisperer and you start recognizing people and knowing, oh, no wonder this is their tendencies. Okay. And you start speaking their language. And so it's a super fun process.
And that's a great experience when you're able to do that because it gets you immediate trust. In my role where I'm serving at a church, I started with an intern this week. And one of the first things I did was had him take the five voice assessment. And as we were going over, I would just drop these little nuggets of tendencies based on his voice order. And he was just amazed that I was able to know him so well. But, it's not, that doesn't come overnight. That's just years of buying into the model and learning and seeking to use the tools to help other people.
Exactly. I love
Yeah.
it.
So, as part of the event, everybody's going to get a copy of your latest book, The Voice Driven Leader. Kind of talk to us about why that's important and how it's been a great tool for multiplying.
Yeah, in the AI world, in the tech era we're in, I've just found that people don't develop people anymore. They're consumers of content. They watch a lot of videos and they hope that you do too. But most people aren't trained how to develop people. So I just got tired of it. Steve and I were like, all right, let's roll up our sleeves. And people have always asked us, okay, I get this, but how do you do this? And we literally created a manual. It is a field guide.
Yeah.
How do you take someone who's brand new, but the secret is this: do you need to know who you are and who they are? And if you know who your personality, how you're wired, what your voice is, and who they are, then you can take them through the onboarding process much better. And then how do you immerse them into your world? How do you get them and start training them to start doing the work? And how do you keep them out of the pit of despair, which is a whole fun concept? And then how do you get them into an empowerment where they're starting to just consciously competent, and eventually how do you multiply them and so they start scaling and growing? If you have kids, if you have employees, if you're a team leader, this is gold. And
Yeah.
again, what I'm proud of our work is that there's just very few people willing to take this on to this level of depth of how do I do it.
Yes.
So it's how do I mixed in with this overlay of personality and wiring and the dynamics, that it's like a game. If you are this and they are that, so it's to know yourself, to know them, and then to know where they are on the board. And it's so practical. It's so much fun to do these sessions.
Yeah. To your point, I tell everybody that I either give a copy to or I've taken through it. This is not a book you read and put on the shelf. This is a book and you keep within arm's reach because when you find yourself, working with someone who's just not getting it, the tendency is to say they aren't getting it. But the truth may be you're not giving it in a way that they can get it. And so the book helps you identify where they are, and then gives you the language and the strategy to gain that influence to help them take that step. So it is gold for sure.
It's
Yeah.
good.
Hey, so on the day of the event, September 14th, the Intentional Leadership Summit, we are going to talk about AI. I know you've shared with me that that's been a big thing for you. Kind of talk to us about how that's going to play out on that day.
Yeah. So the idea is human intelligence should sit right next to artificial intelligence. And so it's how do you leverage AI to develop people? So what actually happens and how do you leverage it? I'll show you a glimpse of kind of Five Voices AI, how we've merged both of them. And it's just so helpful. Like I use it on a daily basis in multiple ways. And so I can show you some some tips and tricks that I've been doing in performance reviews, in actually building out growth plans, how I'm using HTMLs, how I use GPTs, how I'm using these things to make me more efficient and more effective, but also develop my people.
Yeah. It, I have one client that I work with, and we meet on a monthly basis, and he had a challenging conversation that he was going to have with one of his team members. And so before I could even suggest it, he told me he had already gone out and done the time on the Five Voices app to see how best to position that conversation. It's great. I'm looking forward to that. And then there's a bonus for our, I guess, top level leaders. Really, this is something you suggested, and I love the idea. But since you're going to be in town on the night of the event, the night of the 14th, we're going to host a CEO, a C-suite slash executive director dinner at the Peddler downtown Spartanburg, and kind of talk about what that's for, and then what people can expect.
Yeah, I mean that. And this is the Monday night, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So the what you can expect is we'll get into a little deeper dive into executive team alignment and how to make sure, like, how do you actually make sure your business plans, your financial plans, and your people plans are aligned, and how do you cascade them down through the ranks. It's super super hard. There's a way to do it with AI. And so the concepts of, like, how do we make sure that everyone's aligned at every level, and how do we help them execute at every level? It's all dependent on how strong your communication and your relational trust is. So I'm going to be merging some really EQ and relational intelligence in with some hard skills for executive management. And I've spent most of my career in executive management and being a CEO, leading executive teams, working with executive teams. And so really it's those dynamics. This is great if you want to bring your executive team to hear this and you want to include them or call them up. This would be a great session to get the same language, objective language, get on the same page so that you can maybe move the needle a little bit.
Yeah. And that is separate from the event. So if your schedule won't allow you to come that day, you're more than welcome to join us for dinner that night. It's going to be equally valuable. And then you're going to do a little bit of networking. And then just leading at that level is a whole different animal. And so Jeremy has a wealth of experience personally, but also in the people that he's worked with. One of my favorite Jeremy principles is that the most influential years of a person's life is between 55 and 72. And when I first heard that a few years ago, it was very encouraging because I had just turned 55. So I'm just now getting started and looking forward to what's ahead in this
I'll
opportunity.
be 1 month away by the time I'm there of my 55th birthday. So it'll be my last big event before
Uh,
my infant years.
wow. Yeah. So it'll be maybe a defining moment. Yeah.
That's it.
Hey, Jeremy, thank you for your time. Man, I'm looking forward to hanging out with you as always, especially to have you here in the upstate of South Carolina and let you meet some of our friends. But then just to have a day of learning and laughter and growth. And so we're super excited to have you and looking forward to it.
Can't wait. See you soon.